So it's been a really interesting conference today. The main takeaway I've got is that you've shown us a lot of evidence of suppressed demand for employment space.
I think today what was very clear is we've got that suppressed demand. Demand is there and we do need to respond to it, that we need to have a local economy that is both focused on research and development, but also distribution, and the need to have that coherent and collaborative long-term plan is essential.
One of the issues that has clearly come up is that while we're obviously all debating issues like housing and the supply of housing and housing numbers, at the same time we need to be thinking about where are the industrial and logistics and employment locations where people are going to be working.
We do absolutely recognise that there is a need to provide spaces. In Cambridge we do have some safeguarded industrial spaces, and I'm really pleased they're safeguarded, because otherwise maybe the pressure for life science might have meant that we'd lost those. So we know we need industrial units. They need to be in the right place, they need to be to the right standard.
There has been some idea that we need housing. We do need housing. But it's really that industrial space that is now holding people up.
In Greater Cambridge, we're well aware that we have an obligation to meet the need both for housing but also for employment sites as well. We don't want everybody who lives in South Cambridgeshire to be having to get on a train or in their car to drive off elsewhere to work.
We see these huge logistic hubs in the Midlands, for instance, and so quite often things get shipped by road to the Midlands and then they get shipped back out here to the east. Now that's crazy in terms of CO2 and lots of things.
We've got an amazing hotbed across the wider region in terms of expertise and manufacturing clusters. Let's take Huntingdonshire has a far greater population of people working in manufacturing than the national average, so it's essential that we can make sure that there is the appropriate space for manufacturers to invest to create those highly paid skills.
Part of it, of course, is that we have local authorities, including the Huntingdonshire District Council, who see growth as part of their objective. And I think that's really important, because they are not a dormitory for Cambridge. They have real potential. And it is possible for them to be a location for those who want to benefit from the clusters, the technology clusters that are all developing and growing out of Cambridge itself.
So manufacturing is the largest contributor to our local economy, so it's essential that we can manufacture. Why is that? Because we generate jobs that on average are paying 12-13% higher than the wider economy, but very important is the ability to export our manufactured goods, and that brings then that true wealth back into the UK economy. Around about half of the goods half of UK exports come from manufacturing, so that's then how we invest in our local schools, our local hospitals, our communities.
What I think is holding us up is the infrastructure. And from a highways point of view, we're talking about trains as well as road infrastructure.
But we have some fundamental problems here. We've run out of water, we have no water, we have serious constraints on our energy supply, and we have a transport network which absolutely fails to support the development that we currently have, never mind what's coming in the future.
And if in the Cambridge area, which we very much subscribe to, we regard ourselves as nationally important in terms of the ability to bring businesses here, to grow businesses here, to exploit our technological and universities' advantage. If we're going to do that, we've got to not only have a land use strategy, but connect those things up. And that is going to be about infrastructure, transport infrastructure, and things like water and power and digital connectivity.
But we cannot solve these problems. We do not have the money to build roads, to build railways, to sort out the water, to bring water down from goodness only knows where, to put in the energy infrastructure. So we have to look to government, not necessarily just to give us a lot of money, but to solve the problems and help us work with our partners to solve those problems.
And we need help with everybody talking to the government to tell them that we need the rail infrastructure sorted out, with this, particularly the Ely area enhancement. We need real commitments for East-West Rail and the station at Waterbeach and light rail to Wisbeach.
Planning can only go so far. I think what we need is real strategic thinking on this. And that's about how we connect people and businesses across the sub-region.
And I thought today was really interesting, because clearly there is a lot of consensus about how we go about locally thinking about planning. but there is a lot of need in terms of the resourcing to enable those plans to be delivered and delivered quickly.